If you're a beginner drummer, you probably wish that your progress could get a speed boost. And it's a good thing that you're watching this video because that's exactly what I'm gonna teach you how to do. And by the end, I'm gonna give you a 30-day practice plan that is going to skyrocket your skills. So let's dive into it. In this stage of your drumming, there are 4 main pillars that you should be focusing on, starting with beats. Thankfully, if you've been watching this series, you've learned a ton of drum beats. But in case you haven't, we're gonna give you a refresher and show you how to utilize them in the best way possible. As a beginner, it is important to build your beat library because after all, beats are the heart and soul of drumming. So you wanna make sure that you're well versed in this area. So let's take a drum beat that we learned earlier in this series that sounds like this. Now what we're gonna do is we are going to take a song and I'm gonna show you how we can play this same drum beat for multiple different sections of the same song. Check it out. When you think about the verse of a song, I want you to think about it as being tighter and closed. Normally these are quieter sections of the song. So a lot of the times this means we play the verses on the closed hi-hats. I want you to think about the chorus as open. The chorus is generally the biggest part of the song, so the way that we can open up this drum beat is by moving our dominant hand from the closed hi-hat to something like a ride cymbal or a crash cymbal. These provide open sounds with long sustain that are perfect for choruses. And finally, to turn this drum beat into a tom beat, all you have to do is take that dominant hand and move it to the floor tom, and boom, you've got a nice tom groove. The second pillar is something that a lot of beginner drummers struggle with, but once you develop this skill, everything in your drumming will start to sound way better. Because as drummers, one of our main responsibilities, especially in a band setting, is keeping time for everyone else. But we can't do that if we haven't developed our timing. So here's the perfect timing exercise to help you develop that timing. What you are gonna do first is play quarter notes on your hi-hat and you are gonna follow along on the kick drum, simply playing 1, 2, 3, 4. Then in the second measure, you are going to stick with those quarter notes on the hi-hat, but then play eighth notes on the bass drum. That sounds like this. After that, you're gonna go back to quarter notes on the hi-hat and the bass drum, and then on measure number 4, you are going to switch your hi-hats to eighth notes, and that would sound like this. So now let's put this full exercise together and hear what it sounds like. The third pillar is every drummer's favorite, but even though this can be a super fun part of drumming, it can be a trap that consumes way too many drummers. So we want to make sure that we spend the appropriate time on it without hyper focusing. So pillar number 3 is fills. Similar to beats, you do want to build your fill library, but more importantly, you want to have freedom with the existing fills that you already know. So how do you do this? Well, simply by changing the way that you play your fills around the drum kit. For example, let's take a fill that we've already learned in this course that sounds like this. Step 1 is to play the fill exactly as you learned it. Step 2 is to move your dominant hand around the kit while your weak hand stays on the snare. Step number 3 is to move your weak hand around the kit while your dominant hand stays on the snare. Step number 4 is to move both hands around the kit and really get creative with the fill. Now it's time for Gabe's troubleshooting tips. My troubleshooting tip for this exercise is to just focus on one step at a time. Don't try to tackle the full exercise. First, just focus on moving your dominant hand around multiple times, over and over and over again, until you start to find combinations that feel comfortable for you and that don't totally trip you up. You keep pushing forward, keep working on it, and the repetition will start to help things come together more and more. And once you've done that for each step, then you can put them all together and try to combine them and mix and match them for ultimate freedom with your fills. But the problem is you want more than freedom in your fills. You want freedom in your drumming and want freedom in your journey to getting better. And the best way to do that is by having a personalized path where you are guided step by step to make easy and fast progress. And that's exactly what we've created for you at our online drum school, DBO Academy. When you join, you'll take a placement quiz that analyzes exactly where you're at in your drumming, give you a personalized path to make fast progress, and you'll be surrounded by a community of thousands of drummers who are on the same journey as you. For a very limited time, as long as this course is going on, we are offering you 15 days free to DBO Academy by clicking the link right up here. Now, like I said, this is a limited time, so the best way to find out if the free trial is still available is to click the link here or in the description below. I promise you are gonna love it, and I cannot wait to see you in there. The next pillar will make everything that you do as a drummer feel more fluid and more comfortable on the kit. Pillar number 4 is technique. So what are some exercises that we can use to better our technique? Well, first is an exercise called finger dribbling. Now, you might not know it, but your fingers are your secret keys to better technique. They allow you to control the stick more freely and more loosely. So what I want you to do is grip your stick with your thumb and the first knuckle of your pointer finger. Then you're gonna let your fingers rest on the stick. Then you're gonna hold them in French grip, which simply means that your thumb is pointing up towards the ceiling. Then you are going to just dribble the stick using your fingers only. You're gonna play this as eighth notes, and it's gonna sound like this. Now, if your sticks are flying, that is totally okay and totally normal. This is a process that is going to take a little bit to get that control. Now we're gonna put this all together in one exercise where you do eighth notes with finger dribbling with your dominant hand, then eighth notes on your foot, then eighth notes with your weak hand finger dribbling, then eighth notes with your foot. Now that you know all the pillars, it's time to put them together in a cohesive practice plan. So this plan is going to be 5 days a week, 20 minutes per practice session. So day 1, you are gonna focus on beats. The first half of your practice session is going to be just working on the drum beat from this lesson and eventually trying to get it up to 100 BPM. But this could take weeks, so start around that 50 or 60 BPM, or you could even go slower. The second half of this day, I want you to work on this beat around the kit, doing a verse version, a chorus version, and a tom version. Day number 2 is going to be all about timing, where you work on the timing exercise from this lesson, and you're gonna eventually try to get it up to 95 BPM. But again, I want you to start in that 50 to 60 range. Day number 3 is fills, and this is a similar breakdown to beats, where the first half of the day you are working on the exact fill that we worked on in this lesson, trying to get it up to 100 BPM, and then the second is going to be applying the framework that we learned earlier to play it in new ways around the kit. Day number 4 is technique, where you work on the technique exercise from this lesson for 20 minutes and try to get it up to 95 BPM. Finally, day number 5 is a full pillar day where you split up all the exercises in 5-minute increments. So that is your full week of practice, and you are simply going to repeat that for 30 days and make sure to track your progress, because trust me, you will make some insane progress. And if you want a free PDF of this to follow along, you can simply click the link right here and we'll send it to you totally for free. I know you're gonna make some amazing progress with this 30-day plan, but you will make insane progress with DBO Academy. Think of this as like your ultimate life practice plan that will continually make you a better drummer day after day, month after month, year after year. And this might be your last chance to join with a 15-day free trial. So go ahead, click right here to claim your free trial. It's totally free. I know you're gonna love it. I'm excited to see your progress. Thank you for joining me on this series. Stay true.